I'm spending my final night here in Washington, D.C., visiting the Wharf, which I feel like I totally should have been here earlier. There's really nobody here now. It's been packed the last few days, but it rained, so there's supposed to be more rain. But I haven't come here, and I wanted to because this area is pretty freaking cool. And when you look at it, it could be the future of what is the waterfront in Oakland. So I'm gonna show you around a little bit. So this is the little fish market. They're closing up. They've got crab, shrimp, crab, lobster. Kind of show you right out here is the Potomac River. So there's boats and ferries, and there's like a yacht club and stuff over here. Anyways, this is, I guess, the old part of the wharf, but it stretches down not too far. It's about the same distance from, say, the ferry terminal at Jack London to the far buildings, which would be where the Oakland Athletics office is now. It's about that distance. It's narrow, fits in about the same footprint. So let me show you what's going on here. So again, we have like this old factory that's now a rum house or whatever. This old building here, which has been modernized. It's an old brick building. It's been modernized. Now it's some sort of oyster bar. But you have these big office condo complexes, tons of little stores, lots of restaurants. I'm gonna go up here probably 100 or so yards. I'm gonna take you through it. Here, this building is various things, including an ice cream shop and donuts and such. Oficina. I don't know if that's a Mexican place or something. Anyways, lots of restaurants, some food trucks. There's a little food truck court. But what really kind of got me thinking, I'm like, wait, we got all these restaurants. There's an arcade, tons of bars. Great out. It's all right. Some great little patio areas outside, and there's also a theater, which the Howard Terminal Project supposedly wants to have a live performance theater. I'm assuming for music or something, or theater, or you name it, maybe a little bit of everything. And they have such a thing here. I'm just sitting here thinking, I'm like, this reminds me a lot of Jack London. And with such development, I'm thinking, wow, this could be really, really cool. Let me show you. So there's looks blue on my phone, but it's purple. Another bar in here somewhere. Street vendors of sorts. These little areas. That's really pretty. Trees. But we got this theater, and we're not talking like slouchy nobodies. We're talking. I saw Demi Lovato up on the marquee. Oh, it's called Anthem. Here's the box office. But I saw Jeff Beck. A few other bands I've heard of. I'm thinking small. This is probably a smaller venue, maybe 1,000 to 2,000 people. La Vie, huh? Looks like there's some. This looks fancy. There's even dining up towards the top there. Looks like there's some hotels here, some office buildings. buildings, definitely some condos. Just a lot of really cool ideas and some shop. Oh, it's a little place. They sell slushies and stuff. Here's a little food truck. It's closed right now. Apparently they sell s'mores. This is the ferry terminal. Very cool. Another small thing. Then food joint, dumplings, sushi. Anyways, so I'm trying to keep this relatively short, but a lot of really cool stuff in a small footprint. Something that's really needed. It stopped raining, so people are finally now starting to come out. So starting to pick up the foot traffic here. When I got here, it was a ghost town. Of course, when I got here, it was still raining. But this place in particular is about 10 minutes from the Nationals Park, where the Washington Nationals play. The place where I thought was the Commanders, who used to be the Redskins. The place that I thought was, if you watch that video from Nationals Park, that's actually their soccer team. That's where they play. I forgot what the name is. Sorry. But yeah, so very cool spot. A lot of potential. Looks like there's some theaters. There's a Haick right in front of me. There's something down here at the end. We're not too far from like the International Spy Museum. The architecture is pretty modern. A lot of boxy, square, typical stuff you see typically around in what's coming up in Oakland and San Francisco and San Jose. Nothing too high. I've noticed that DC doesn't have a lot of tall buildings. It's kind of a flat town. I'm assuming they don't want anything to overshadow the Capitol or the Washington Monument. Washington Monument's just over 500 feet. I think they're like 520 or something. But once you leave, you go to Arlington and Richmond and stuff, you can see that in the distance. That's where all the big buildings are. But anyway, I don't know why I was on that. Cool little alleyway, Pearl Street. Like some bars and maybe a small live music venue. But yeah, I'm just kind of coasting around here and just thinking, I'm like, wow. This is honestly something that I don't really see in anywhere in the Bay Area, honestly. I think the closest I've really been seeing to something of this caliber has been coming up in San Jose. I could see this. This is all fairly new, especially when you get down to the end. Not where I started, but as you get down, it's newer and newer. Some of those buildings are unfinished. There are a number of restaurants that are going in. Gordon Ramsay apparently has two. He has his Hell's Kitchen on one side, and then he has a fish and chips place coming on the other side. And who knows, this could be another one of those places where you get celebrity chefs and stuff. You probably don't think of DC as a big tourist spot, but this has actually been one of my favorite places to visit so far. It's a very walkable city. Lots of small transportation. I've been really high on getting these little scooters. You guys have seen them from Lime and I think if you have Bird, Spin. Uber has a thing with Lime. Lyft has their own scooter. But you will find that mode of transportation is excellent in this town, with a few exceptions of the no parking areas. So let's say you wanted to take them to the Capitol building. You can take them there, but you can't lock them up anywhere or deactivate and to ride. So you got to take them like maybe a block over and then walk the rest of the way. some more stuff over here. I'm almost at the end. I figure I'll take you the rest of the way through just to kind of show you. It's been hot here, just like it's been hot back home. Except it's not as humid. I wish I knew about this little squirty fountain. These kids are loving it. But I would have loved to have a pool, but we've also been just on the go the whole time. If you ever go on vacation with me, we're working the whole time. My feet are to the point now where I can't really feel them, but I put in a lot of work walking. But here's another one of these. These is one of the newer buildings, not ready yet. And then as we go down, there's a lot of these storefronts are just empty. So something will come in here eventually. There's just like this building here. But yeah, I guess something's supposed to be coming here. Lucky Buns. Yeah, there's a few places that are in development. You know, oh, this is really cool. I love great architecture, and whatever this building is, this is a really cool element. Everything coming to this center. Oh, Mason's famous lobster rolls. So, yeah. I believe on the end of this building is where they're going to do that Gordon Ramsay bit, his fish and chips place. And then that building I was showing right here, this event. I'm trying to show you, flip. This building here looks like an event center of some sort. I'm assuming it's going to become a bunch of restaurants. But the end of the building is where the Hell's Kitchen will inevitably be, if this is the right building. It could be the next building over. So I don't know what Limani is. What's coming end of spring of 2023. They have a number of permit applications on the door there. I guess I should look and see what it is. For electrical, air conditioning, plumbing, yeah. So it doesn't really say what it is. Elevator permit. Anyways, oh yeah, see, Gordon Ramsay fish and chips, and then the building down here, I guess, is where they plan to put the Hell's Kitchen. And then again, another outdoor dining area. I thought these lights were really pretty. The fixtures are really cool. They're hard to see. I guess you really can't control the exposure when you're using certain applications. But yeah, so just some ideas. Oh, that's a really cool building. This curve is really sweet. So let's get some stair steps. So we're at the end now. So this will inevitably be Hell's Kitchen. I've been to the one in not Reno, Tahoe. Pretty good. Honestly found it to be somewhat average. Now it was kind of my same feeling I had with a lot of these celebrity chef joints is you're paying for the name. You know, there's a lot of places like I don't know so much in Oakland. I haven't had a lot of great restaurant experiences, at least steakhouses in Oakland. But you know, there's places like House of Prime Rib and stuff in the city that, you know, aren't a big corporate name. And you know, they're not a celebrity chef. You know, there's the Ruth Chris's of the world and stuff, and they're pretty good. These places are pretty much on par with those. Um, there are some restaurants in Berkeley and stuff. Chez Panisse. Michael Mina has his restaurant. One Marketplace, Michelin star places in the Bay Area without some guy's name on it. Good. It's just if you miss it, you're not missing anything. You can probably get it similar or better food at the local spot in your town. But that being said, they're worth a visit. If you're hungry, it's good food at a comparable price. Yeah, so anyways, this wasn't supposed to become a restaurant review, but anyways, it's out here. Would have been cool if I could have got this earlier where you can see a little bit more in the daylight. I believe the Reagan Airport, that's where this guy's going. This is just on the other side of the Potomac. Here we got a big yacht cruise, one of those dinner cruise guys, like we have in the Bay. I believe we have Commodore and Hornblower, the two big ones. Definitely worth going out and doing if you want to cruise the Bay for an hour or two and get a meal while you're at it. Done those on like Valentine's Day. It's a great one. It's only like $75. Really worth it. On New Year's, go see fireworks. I could definitely recommend that. But the whole point of this was checking out this area again. It's got a lot of potential of, really being a really cool spot to get away from your typical stuff that you have near the Capitol. And if this was something like the Bay, this could be a really cool destination, and could be a blueprint of what could be similar at Howard Terminal. Again, similar footprint, similar location to the waterfront, similar distance to the freeways over there. Yeah, this could be really cool. And I'm glad I came down here and took the time to see it before I leave. This is definitely a town I want to come back to and check out. That reminded me of one thing that pissed me off when I was talking to somebody about this. Well, there's a few folks here. In talking to a guy in Washington who said he didn't think that Oakland could have anything like this, came off as really just tone deaf and racist. Of course, it's an old white guy, so we expect. What an idiot. But he's like, everybody's getting shot and mugged and everything in Oakland. But I came here and there was a shooting at a school and 4 people were killed in some other spot. And like, if you're trying to say that it can't be done because the people in Oakland are like some sort of animals or something, I'm like, what do you say about the people here? Because I see a lot of black people here in Washington, D.C., which is a historically black city. And while there are some bad folks here, I've had like a 99% positive experience, and none of my 1% had to do with anything being, a racially issue, charging. Most of it, it's just been, long lines or just inept employees at certain places. But I'm like, that's just a stupid thing to say. That it wouldn't work in Oakland because the people suck. I'm like, I tried to pin him on what people. And he's like, sorry. Uh, I guess I identify as white enough because I'm actually mostly Lebanese, Syrian, which is Middle Eastern. So I've heard a lot of this. Racism is weird, and people think of racists as something that you wear on your sleeve, and more often than not, it's something that's kind of buried and hidden, and it's something that people will only take off that hood when they think they're safe. And white folks do it a lot, where when they think they're around other white folks, especially similarly thinking people, they let that shit fly. They'll let the N-word go. They'll tell you about all their stupid theories of people and origins and just all their dumb, racist, weird shit that they really think. They keep that stuff on the outside and smile and shake your hand to your face. So, that being said, I don't know how I ended up on this. Oh, this is something that can be done. As I'm walking, while there are white faces, I see a lot of, at least in DC, I see a lot of black faces. I see a lot of people who look like me. And when I say I see a lot of people who look like me, I see a lot of white people, and I see a lot of Arabic people, Mediterranean people, that sort of thing. Not a lot of Latino people here. That's just how it goes. We're not California. DC isn't California or Texas. But they are represented here. For someone to say something like that, though, is ridiculous and backward thinking. This is a great city, and again, all the places that people were like, stay away from this neighborhood. I'm like, why? That's a great neighborhood. There's some beautiful homes here. I see a lot of families. I see a lot of well-to-do people here. So maybe that is more of a question of, I'm gonna sit down. Maybe that's more of a question of what's going on here in terms of gentrification and that sort of thing. And I won't deny that, but even going into Baltimore, a lot of people were like, oh man, Baltimore's bad. I'm like, is it worse than Oakland? And I went to some shady neighborhoods and then ran into a lot of really nice people. So, and the same thing with Pittsburgh. And I'm really having a hard time pinning some of this stuff down. And I can only really, this stuff comes from like this place of racism. And the way people talk about Oakland, especially people from the peninsula in San Francisco and Marin, they're like, oh, I wouldn't go to Oakland. Why? Why wouldn't you go to Oakland? Why wouldn't you go to Richmond? Why wouldn't you go to Berkeley or El Cerrito or Hayward or San Leandro? Why wouldn't you go to any of those places? And the best idea or the best thought I could have or the best reasoning is that there are some inherently racist ideas that are still being passed around between people. I remember seeing jokes as a kid. I don't know what the deal was, but during the 80s, with fax machines, people would send jokes all the time. unsolicited. People didn't even know who these other people were, but they get jokes, and there were a lot of hateful jokes about Oakland and San Francisco, and gay people in San Francisco and black people in Oakland. And, it's like, wow. I mean, do people really think like this? And I have to say yes. And that's unfortunate, and I would think that 20, 30 years down the road that people wouldn't have these same thoughts, but I see it all the time when people talk about just baseball. It's just baseball. It's, oh, our fans are better than your fans, you guys are ghetto, and you guys are this, and you guys, it's like, what people don't get is, well, really? There's no difference. You're just wearing a different color shirt. It's the same people. Really, it is. It's the same people. You're gonna get violence and robberies and just crime in general in a lot of places. You're gonna get misunderstood, uneducated people in a lot of places, whether it's a big city or suburbs or in the sticks somewhere. So enough of that. This is cool. If Oakland can make this happen and do something even half as cool as this, I would consider it a win. There's something here that is cool and something that we need. And whether it's another bar or restaurant, or just another place to entertain or to go to, that's what matters. And what it looks like, that'll all come out in the wash. Hopefully it's something that emboldens the entrepreneurial experience and gives people a reason to want to invest in Oakland, not just other businesses and corporations and stuff, but the people itself. Would the people want to come here and do the business here? Would they want to eat at my restaurant or go to my theater or play at my arcade or come to my ballpark? And then there's the people, that entrepreneurial part. I'm seeing these little small businesses, the restaurants, these little pop-up tents that are all around here. I'm like, that's an opportunity. Opportunity's real. Not to get too crazy on you guys, but just an idea that I had. Here I am in the nation's capital, with my own ideas and thoughts about what the city is, and was, and would be, and you start to see it and experience it, and you go, wow, the American dream's not dead. It's slightly misdirected at times, but I don't think we're as hell in a handbasket as people would want us to think. And I just discovered another part of this little wharf area that I kind of want to show you too. That is a stage. This is a little event space. Over here is a little amphitheater. I couldn't see that from the sidewalk, but there you go. Anyways, I think we can all get on some page here, and if we can ditch the identity politics and the left versus right, us versus them sort of rhetoric, I think we can come back to something, and we can all get back on the same page and do something better. Again, I don't think the American dream is dead. I just think that we've lost sight of it. And in some ways, we've been living the American nightmare. And as I listen to people talk about recessions and depressions and market crashes and stuff, in every one of those instances, there's an opportunity to be had. It's just, are you in the mindset to do it, and do you have the availability, the funds or the backing, or just honestly the will to make something happen? it's there still. And sometimes you need a little kick in the ass to remember that. And this has been mine. I see a lot of opportunities to be had, and I really got to find a way to show other people that. I'm no millionaire or anything like that. I don't get investment tips or anything like that. But I do run multiple businesses by myself, and I do make a decent living in the Bay Area. A really hard place to do business. I feel like I have something to offer, and this trip, going around the city and seeing what's going on here, this place is happening, and I see so many parallels with places like my home in Oakland. We can do better. We can do better. We need to do better, and we owe it not just to ourselves, but to our home and our children to do better. And man, somehow we can just harness those opportunities and create something better for it. I think there's an opportunity here for all of us. I'm looking at my own opportunities, but I'm also looking at opportunities for people who I know. I'm like, hey, this would be right up your alley. This is the thing that you could do. Just go out there and grab it. That's all you got to do. Not grab that. We're not trying to grab the wrong things here. Anyways, guys, I'm going to find something to eat here. So this is probably the best looking food, nicest looking restaurants I've seen since I've been here. And there's a lot here. Anyways, guys, I am enough of my rant. There are good things to be happening. This could be the Oakland of the future if we want it to be. This is a really cool spot. Hope you guys are keeping cool. I know it's up in the hundreds in the inland, and high 70s and 80s on the coast, in Alameda and San Francisco and Oakland. So yeah, keep cool. We're coming home in the morning, and I'll see you guys around. Have a great night. Hope you had a great Labor Day. Yeah, look around and see the things and find something positive about it and look for an opportunity. I think that's something that can be learned from getting out, talking to people and traveling a little bit. All right, guys, take care.